Alright, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Uh, Welcome back to my live stream. Let's see if this is working now. Hey, what the? Oh, come on now with this crap. God damn it. Why won't this work? Oh, come on. You gotta be kidding me with this. Hold on a second. I just want to make sure this is working. I want to make sure my podcast is on. Make sure this live stream is on. So I can make sure. Hold on. Alright, finally. Very sorry about that. Had some technical difficulties. Now it's on. Alright, good. My live stream is on. Alright, so this is Jacob Cast 2024. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome back to my live stream. While I play Fortnite and I do solo, we're gonna talk about WWE Smackdown. We'll talk a little bit about AEW Dynamite, and we'll talk about the news and rumors in the wrestling community. I just want to say, hit that like button, leave a comment. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all the support. Please subscribe to my channel. Let me know in the comment section below if you guys want to see more. I just want to let you guys know that my video is sponsored by PlayStation. It's sponsored by my favorite podcasters and YouTubers like Fightful Pro Wrestling, Solomon the Sound Off, JD from New York, Denise Salcedo, Just Alex, and other podcasters that I know of. Yeah, so make sure you guys enjoy this video. This will be like an hour long. Yeah, so now let me see if I can talk about Smackdown. No, Smackdown sucked. I thought the show sucked tonight. Smackdown was kind of shit. I think it's the lack of storytelling, lack of star power. The only thing that's interesting is the tag team division, and the only storyline they had is the MRT that no one cared about. That was the opener of the show, and then it closed the show. And for the woman, the Secret Harvard, no one cares. Carmelo Hayes is on TV. Michin is on TV. We got Miz and Carmelo Hayes, a tag team. I can't believe they're still a tag team. Melo don't Miz is their new tag team. There was no Cody Rhodes, no John Cena. There was no Logan Paul. This show sucked. This show, it really does suck. Alright, so I don't know what to say, really. All I can say is that Smackdown sucked. This show was absolutely boring. Alright, so let me see if I can try to hide or something. Alright, now let me see if I can try to hide or something. Alright. See if I can try to hide or something. So I can do my podcast. I want to hide in the cabin. So no one's gonna find me. At least I got one kill. Alright, so Now let's see if I can get back to my now before I show the other podcasters and the other YouTubers on how they got on review, before I can invite them in the chat here. All I can say is Smackdown sucked. It wasn't that good. Now I think we got like 2 weeks until the pay-per-view Clash in Paris. We also got the AAA pay-per-view. It's actually for free. It's gonna be on YouTube. It's also on Peacock, I think, but it's on YouTube. The Triple Mania in Mexico City. There's only 4 matches that were announced, so I'm sure the show gonna be like 2 hours. There's only 4 matches, by the way. We know that Judgment Day is on it. The winner 6-person mid-tag team match. We got the Fatal 4-Way for the AAA Championship. We know Dominic gonna be in that Fatal 4-Way with a Grande Americano. And 2 others, I forgot their names. Yeah, there's only like 4 matches, and that's gonna be tomorrow at 6 o'clock, I think. Yeah, so yeah. Now, as for SmackDown tonight, Friday Night SmackDown, it sucked. The show opened up with the MFT with Solo Sikoa and his crew. Sami Zayn interrupted them. Sami Zayn said he's now a member of SmackDown. Clearly they're setting up Sami Zayn and Solo Sikoa for the US title, probably a Clash in Paris. And then we got a brawl, and then Jimmy Uso came out. Jacob Ford too, he came out, and they all beat down the MFTs. They got this announced a 6-man tag. Man, are we really doing another Bloodline Civil War? But this time it's different, because now we got Jacob Ford too teaming up with Jimmy Uso and Sami Zayn again. So it's a core group. This time with Hikuleo and JC Mateo. Why are we going back to the same old shit with the Bloodline? I'm over the Bloodline storyline. I don't care about Solo and the group. The same old shit. And that's the only storyline that they seem to be progressing. There's nothing else. After that, we got a we got a one-on-one match with Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss versus Piper Niven. Alexa beat Piper Niven in a match. Then we got a brawl with the Secret Hermit. They laid out Charlotte and Alexa. So they're obviously going after the tag team titles. We also got Carmelo Hayes in the mid versus Nathan Frazier and Asium. So now they're calling Miz and Carmelo Hayes Melo Don't Miz. Carmelo Hayes has not been used at all. He hasn't been on TV. He hasn't been used at all since he's been to SmackDown. It's been like over a year. Now they were called Melo with Miz. Now it's Melo Don't Miz. Obviously they got the victory here. The Miz was selfish. He tapped himself in, hit his skull finale on Nathan Frazier and got the win and celebrated with Carmelo. Man, but whatever. Drew McIntyre came out, cut a promo. He addressed his attack on Cody Rhodes. He said, my attack on Cody Rhodes was Cody Rhodes' fault. He blamed Cody Rhodes for why he attacked him. Clearly they're setting up this feud for Clash in Paris. I think we'll get Cody Rhodes next week on Smackdown to see what he's going to say about Drew McIntyre attacking him. It's just a filler feud to give Cody Rhodes something to do. Because he has no opponents. There's no legit challenger of Cody Rhodes. Last time we were with John Cena, now we got Drew McIntyre. Because Drew McIntyre got nothing to do. We also had a tag team match with the Street Profits and DIY. Now, SmackDown had the best tag division on Raw, on AEW. SmackDown had the better tag division. We got DIY, we got the Machine Gun, the Street Profit, we got the MRT, all these teams going after the Wyatt set. Now they are setting up the MRT to go after no tag team titles. I think they teased a segment with the MRT and Street Profits, so that's gonna happen. We also got a segment with R-Truth and Aleister Black. They're teasing that next week. So, yeah. Yeah. Now, As for the news and rumors here, let's see. The news and rumors, it getting ugly. Hold on. As you guys know that WWE puts in for TNA to go head to head with AEW on Wednesday night. A massive shift could be coming in the wrestling world. TNA purportedly in talk to move to Wednesday night, go head to head with AEW as part of new media rights negotiations. Accordingly to recent reports, WWE may be playing a major role behind the scene, pushing TNA to become the number 2 promotion in the industry. Could WWE be using TNA as a way to weaken AEW before their next TV rights deals in 2027, which is quite a long time? Reports suggest WWE even holds the right to purchase TNA or block outside sales. Is this the start of a new Wednesday night war? In this video, as you guys know, my favorite podcaster, JD from New York, he breaks down all details from the Sports Illustrated and Wrestling Observer, the network, and the run-in for TNA new deal, and what they could mean for AEW and WWE, the future for pro wrestling.
To the pro wrestling world, competition is a very good thing, man. I love good competition. We haven't seen competition in pro wrestling since 2019 when it was NXT Black and Gold against the upstart rival alternative to Vince McMahon's evil empire, WWE in the form of AEW. Competition hasn't been a thing since 2019. There is no competition in 2025. WWE is by far and away leagues number 1. And a distant second, you can't even see them anymore, is AEW. There is no competition. What if I told you that we may be on the verge of a new competition? What if I told you that we are on the verge of another Wednesday night war? But it won't be with WWE against AEW. It's going to be with TNA and AEW. TNA is reportedly in talks to move Wednesday nights and go head-to-head with AEW Dynamite as part of a new media rights deal, which they are hoping they lock down by October, which is bound for glory time, their biggest time of the year. And this is according to John Alba of Sports Illustrated. And we're going to dive into this, and we're going to expose the reason why WWE is not threatened by AEW and why, honestly, they don't give a shit about AEW. There's a lot of misconceptions and a lot of misinformation being thrown around on social media. One thing is perfectly clear, folks. WWE doesn't give a shit about AEW in the way that you think they give a shit about AEW. I will tell you exactly what's going on here and my true feelings behind this competition. With TNA potentially moving to Wednesday nights and all the counter-programming that we're seeing from WWE towards AEW, I will mention it all and give you my full thoughts and opinions right here on Off the Script. It is your Friday, August 15th, 2025. This news broke yesterday. I let it sit. I did not want to dive into this too soon. I wanted to let my thoughts marinate overnight before I sit here this afternoon and give you guys my thoughts on this. TNA's media rights are on the market, and there could be a seismic shift, says Sports Illustrated, in the wrestling landscape that is WWE TNA against AEW. The Takedown with John Alba on Sports Illustrated has been closely monitoring TNA's ongoing media distribution discussions. Last month, TNA President Carlos Silva indicated that the company, alongside Creative Artists Agency, was evaluating the rights at an average annual value between $7 million and $10 million, with a variety of distribution platforms in the running. Now, while August is not typically a newsworthy period for media rights, this year has been an anomaly. Earlier this month, WWE inked a deal with ESPN and Disney that will see WWE and premium live events on the platform in 2026, and the entity is open to acquiring ESPN, acquiring WWE's full video library should it become available. Additionally, TKO signed a gigantic $7.7 billion distribution deal with Paramount Plus to air all of their pay-per-views and product on Paramount Plus, basically eliminating the pay-per-view model for UFC. Silva previously told The Takedown on Sports Illustrated that TNA was hoping to have a new media rights lined up by Bound for Glory in October. This obviously goes in line with what he's previously stated over the last few weeks. However, in a conversation on Wednesday, he indicated that the recent movement in deals for WWE and UFC has changed the playing field for TNA and led to more conversations scheduled for later this month. The TNA president now claims that there is positive momentum in the negotiations. The question has permeated, however, as to where TNA could land. Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer noted 2 weeks ago that the CW or A&E could emerge as a potential home for TNA, which is noteworthy considering both have WWE ties. Currently, the CW hosts NXT on Tuesday, while A&E airs WWE-produced documentary content, and I believe LFG is also on there as well. Legends and Future Greats, their reality show that shows the journey of all the upstarts at the Performance Center to their rise to the NXT show on Tuesday night. The Takedown on SI has also learned in recent days that the rumor mill regarding those networks has picked up significant steam. Multiple independent sources tell The Takedown on Sports Illustrated that there have at least been discussions of TNA moving to a WWE-associated network, and that the company is even open to shifting from Thursday to Wednesday nights to go head-to-head with AEW Dynamite. Now, I don't know who's making that decision, but that may be a decision that bites Carlos Silva and WWE in the ass if they want to compete directly with AEW Dynamite. I'll get back to that in a second. While it's not directly indicated that the destination could be the CW, a lot of people are expecting it to be the CW. It was expressed to The Takedown on Sports Illustrated that the CW's interest in the promotion is legitimate and that some WWE stakeholders would like TNA to be a part of the network. It is not clear how far those discussions have progressed, and it was stressed that nothing has been signed as of yet. Of course they want them to be a part of the CW network instead of being on a cable network, a traditional cable network. Look at the ratings that NXT is doing on the CW. They're doing anything between 750 to 800,000 on a weekly basis on the CW. That is much more than what they were doing on the USA Network, which was in the vicinity of 550,000 to maybe 650,000 weekly. So yes, being on basic television with Channel 11 here, WPIX, used to be in New York, CW Network now, Channel 11 in New York, that is a big deal for the NXT product, and they are the easily highest rated television show on the entire network. So of course, if WWE is backing TNA, CW is probably going to be in business because they're already happy with the way WWE is performing. And if TNA has the backing of WWE, they could also be the second biggest thing that's on the network as far as the ratings are concerned. So yes, that is definitely going to be a discussion that will be had from this point on until October. It is not clear how far those discussions have progressed. Nothing was signed as of yet. When asked directly about the rumors on Wednesday, Silva acknowledged the ongoing nature of the media rights discussions, saying that more meetings would be held later this month and that no deals have been completed at this time. He did not, however, deny the rumor of the conversations to run against AEW. Currently, the original series Family Law and Good Cop, Bad Cop air in the 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. time slots.
What's up, everyone? Tyrese Halliburton here with NBA 2K to share what's new with builds and art types in 2K26. Experiment with new ways to create your My Player by using the Build by Badges feature. Choose your desired
To 10 p.m. time slots. on CW against AEW Dynamite. After being asked further about the notion of going head-to-head with AEW, Silva told the takedown on Sports Illustrated that any possible move TNA makes...
Alright, I'm gonna show you all the other podcasters. I don't wanna waste time here.
It's exactly what they want to do. Because I don't really understand how, if you're a fan of TNA wrestling, how you think that this...
Alright, hold on. Oh, I hope I don't die here, but... Hold on, gotta get this,
Because I don't really understand how, if you're a fan...
Alright, hold on. Get to, Joe Cronin. Alright, hold on for a second.
Unless you...
I just started reading.
To work with, or is it that they haven't given him anything?
TLC match? And it was like one person. $0 with the Dudley boys. Let me double check what the step for that is.
For the TNA World Heavyweight titles. And let's not forget the challenge.
And Smackdown. The summer off was well with Julia. Julia's representing, going for the United States. No John Cena, no Brock Lesnar, no Logan Paul.
How's it possible the show can be so boring?
Into various stories on SmackDown that were not on the show tonight. But we had Solo Sikoa and the MFTs. They were all over this show, including the main event. Six-man tag team match in the main event. You know, at least tonight, we actually had a clean finish in the main event. I could not say that for Raw Monday night. I could not say that for SmackDown last week. At least we did not have a fucking disqualification in the main event tonight. That's great. That's great. Sami Zayn is officially now a member of the SmackDown roster. They made it official. It kind of felt that way anyway. Last week he got a win over Solo Sikoa. It felt like he should be going for the United States Championship. Then they attacked him on Raw Monday night. I got to deal with the MFTs on Monday. It only felt natural that you would move Sami over to SmackDown. They made that official. And he was in the main event tonight, and he got another win. He pinned the United States Champion 2 weeks in a row. That doesn't bode very well for his chances when he actually gets that title match, but we'll get there at some point. They did not make that announcement official tonight. What else can I say about this show? I'll tell you one good thing. Better late than never, they're actually doing something with Carmelo Hayes. They're doing a story with Carmelo Hayes and The Miz that is clearly intended to eventually turn Carmelo Hayes babyface. That's more than I can say they've done with Carmelo Hayes in months on this show. I don't know what took them so long, but at least they're doing something with him, right? So that's a plus. And we had Jacob Fatu in the main event tonight as well on that six-man tag team match, which that sort of thing is the sort of thing we need to see more of. I just wish they had something more compelling and more engaging for him to be involved in at the moment. There's not a whole lot to say on this show as far as things that are engaging or things that are terribly interesting. I'm sorry, I wish I could say that there was, but there is not. Case in point, look at the women's championship scene on SmackDown. It was very striking tonight. And I'm not just talking about the WWE Women's Championship and Tiffany Stratton. I'm talking about the U.S. title as well with Julia. Julia's representative was on the show tonight. Julia herself was not on the show. And let's not pretend that they've done a whole hell of a lot with Julia so far. She's got the championship. She hasn't done anything with it yet. But I'm looking at the women's scene on SmackDown right now, and tonight what we had was a backstage segment involving Tiffany Stratton, Jade Cargill, and Nia Jax, who's been spending the last few weeks on NXT. But they were all bickering and they were all arguing. And they sure made you think that we're getting another match soon involving Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax. That is how barren they are with ideas when it comes to the women's championship picture on this show. It is dire. The women's title scene on this show is dire. And it is in need of, obviously it's in need of some fresh blood. It's in need of Bianca Belair. And it's out of their hands. Obviously, she has to get medically cleared first. But boy, they have really taken a blow not having her available. That much is clear. Now, I'm hoping that she gets cleared soon, but again, she was talking a few weeks ago before SummerSlam about how, the one broken finger that still won't bend. If that doesn't heal on its own, she'll need surgery. So let's get a prayer circle going for Bianca Belair that she can be okay and she can get medically cleared soon, because my God, could this division use her right now on TV. So don't even get me started on the women's division on this show. This was another boring episode of SmackDown. Last week's SmackDown absolutely sucked. Tonight, there were pockets of little glimmers and pockets of hope here and there. Again, the Carmelo Hayes stuff as an example. There was some, solid wrestling on the show, but the show, it has no soul. It is completely devoid of any soul. I don't understand how this show could be so boring. With all of the names that they have in this company, and this is the best that they could come up with week to week, what is going on here? It's like they took the summer off. I'm not even exaggerating when I tell you that the episodes of Collision that I am able to check out, Collision is a better show than SmackDown. There is a TNA pay-per-view tonight, Emergence. I forgot all about that. I haven't watched it, obviously. I was watching SmackDown, but I am certain that is a better show than SmackDown was tonight. But Collision week to week is a better show than SmackDown. That is where we are at this point. That's where we are. I don't understand it. I really don't. Now, they did mention tonight, for those of you wondering about the Naomi situation, Naomi is going to be on Raw this Monday night. They did not say what her status is. Obviously, she will update everybody on her status on Raw. We will get an answer. If she is going to be out for a while, for whatever reason, and has to vacate the Women's Championship, we will know on Monday night. So that is the update on Naomi. We'll have to wait until then for answers. In the meantime, though, we're stuck talking about SmackDown. Sorry, guys. At least you got me. This is your SmackDown review. It is Friday night, August 15th, 2025. I am the Solid Monster. I promise to not be as boring as this show was. Jay wants to know, then why are you watching it then? Well, Jay, you might be new here, but you see, I review SmackDown every week. Now, I don't have a crystal ball in my hand, although watching the show last week, I probably should have deduced that this show would not be much better. But see, I don't know what kind of show I'm going to get from week to week. That's why you watch the shows. Sometimes they're great, sometimes they're not. Unfortunately, this is 2 straight weeks of very boring television that we have been given, and my job is to sit here and talk about these shows, because that is what I do here on this channel. I talk about Raw, I talk about SmackDown, I talk about Dynamite, I talk about whatever the hell I want to talk about. So I hope that helps. And I hope that I can give you a more entertaining review than WWE gave you a show tonight. That's my job. Hit that subscribe button. Oh, by the way, I have to give a shout out to Brian. Mr. Finelli, I don't know if he's with us tonight live or not, but Brian put together this very cool graphic here. We hit 88,000 subscribers on the channel the other day. And, of course, got to get that Back to the Future reference in there. So, Brian, thank you for this, and thank you all for 88,000 subscribers as we now begin the journey to 89. 89K. That is coming up next. So, again, Brian, thank you for the cool graphic there. Super chats are open. If you have questions, comments, you want to support the channel, I will be reading your messages a little bit later on. You'll see them popping up on your screen. And with that out of the way, let's get into this show here. Let's talk about SmackDown. This shouldn't take too long. I don't suspect this is going to take very long tonight. Kevin says your reviews are better than WWE shows most times. Well, I'm very happy to hear you say that. I just wish it wasn't the case. It's kind of sad. But hey, I'll take the compliment. So, SmackDown. Open with Solo Sikoa and his family tree making their way down to the ring. So the United States Champion said that the MFTs were in the building tonight to remind everybody that they ran SmackDown. No wonder this show has been so awful. So he says if nobody likes that, too bad. Last week, Sami Zayn came out on SmackDown and that forced Solo and the MFTs to show up on Raw to, in his words, stomp his ass out. Sikoa declared that Sami was stomped out, along with Jimmy Uso and Jacob Fatu, and he once again challenged anybody in the back to come on out and challenge him, and he was cut off by Sami Zayn's music. So he made his way down to the ring, and Sammy said, look, I'm just here to talk. That's all I want to do. So the MFTs, they left the ring. It was just Sammy and Solo in the ring together. Sammy said this past Monday, had he beaten Rusev in their match, it's very possible that he could have been fighting for the World Heavyweight Championship at Clash in Paris. As it is, there's a four-way match. Sami Zayn is not involved in that match, but maybe he would have been had he got a win on Monday. And now that's not going to happen, thanks to the MFTs. And he was furious about it, but after some thinking, he noted that he was finally liberated. He had been so focused on chasing the world title that he hadn't really had time to focus on other things in WWE, and for that he has to thank Solo Sikoa. So Sammy said there was one title that he has never held outside of the world title in WWE, and that is the United States Championship. So Solo taunted him and said, yeah, and you're never going to win the U.S. title. And he yelled at him to get off his show because he didn't want to see him ever again. And at that point, Sammy informed him that he is now officially a member of the Smackdown roster. He didn't say how this all came about. It just happened. It just is. He is now officially... Not that it matters. It is kind of funny to have him come out here and say, I'm officially on Smackdown now. It doesn't matter. People go back and forth at will. So does he really have to come out here and declare? This is not the fucking airport. You don't have to come out here and declare stupid shit like this. That really doesn't mean anything. But according to Sami Zayn, he is officially on SmackDown now. So Solo took something away from him, he said, and now Sami was going to take something away from Solo in the form of the U.S. title. Solo tried to strike Sami. Sami fought back. So the MFT stepped in. They delivered a beatdown until Jimmy Uso ran out for the save. The MFTs still had the advantage, so they beat on him until Jacob Fatu came out, even up the numbers a little bit more. The MFTs were forced to retreat, including all three babyfaces, sending Tala Tonga out of the ring with a triple super kick. Nick Aldis came out at this point, and he made it official for the main event that it would be Sami Zayn, Jimmy Uso, and Jacob Fatu taking on the MFTs in a six-man tag team match. So we had the MFTs in the opening match, and now we were guaranteed to have the MFTs in the closing match. Another week, another show where Nick Aldis cannot be bothered to have a main event already scheduled before his show goes on the air. Terrible. But it is nice that they acknowledge that Sami Zayn at least has officially switched rosters, which, honestly, it's the right move to make. And effectively what has happened here, they have said nothing, by the way, about LA Knight officially being on Raw. But LA Knight is officially on Raw now. I don't know what the roster page... I assume LA Knight is still listed on the SmackDown roster page on WWE.com because they take their sweet time updating that website, unless you are released or your contract expires. Boy, they get you in that alumni section real quick. But sometimes it takes a while for them to update the roster pages. Basically, what's happened here is they had a one-for-one trade. Sami Zayn has been moved over to SmackDown. LA Knight has been moved over to Raw, which is where he belongs. Remember, I was calling for that move for months. Because LA Knight is actually in the main event at Clash in Paris. He is wrestling for the World Heavyweight Championship. Again, he already challenged for the world title last week. If that doesn't make him a member of the Raw roster, I don't know what does. And I also don't know why this was never acknowledged on television. I think it's a very lazy way to make roster moves, especially when you have two general managers. It would not take a lot of effort to set up a segment or two to make it very clear that there's some sort of trade or there's some sort of deal that's been struck. But again, they can't be bothered because this is lazy television. So things just happen. There doesn't have to be an explanation.
Every day on my farm starts with cars.
Gonna show you JD from New York.
It required me to run irrigation lines, concrete berries.
I was more into this match than you would think. More than most things, frankly, on this show. And we got good stuff here from these four, but Hayes looked really good, which we desperately need to see more of here on this show. You know, I used to mock and make fun of the fact that Mello, he was the number one draft pick. Remember that last year? I'm the number one draft pick. Another reason why there never needs to be another draft. That's why I say it all the time. People still sometimes ask about the draft. Are they going to have a draft? When's the draft going to be? You don't need a draft, okay? When you are having Carmelo Hayes as your #1 draft pick, and then you see what they did with him for the majority of this year, you don't need a fucking draft. Because when you treat the draft like a joke, there's no need to do one. So from the moment he was drafted to this show, they have dropped the ball on him repeatedly. And then he won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, right? Where he was walking around with a Dre, the necklace. Where did that go? Where did that take him? Nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. So it's about time that we start to see him focused on more on this show and letting him go out there and do what he does best. He was getting himself over in this match just by wrestling. Sometimes that's all you need to do. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You have to have a good story behind it. Now, the story they're telling with him and Miz is very basic. It's very basic and very simple, but it can be very effective. This is the kind of role that Miz is very good in. That's why I say he's the best utility player they have on the roster. You can plug him in anywhere you need him, but he's a veteran guy. He could be a babyface, he could be a heel, he could be a comedy figure, he could be more serious. They're using him here in this situation to help get Carmelo Hayes over as a babyface. That is what I got out of this. And this is just the first step in the story that they are telling with these two. Now, there was a segment later on in the show. Because, again, the story here was Miz stealing his glory, stealing his thunder away from him. But later in the back, Nick Aldis was speaking to the Motor City Machine Guns. I would hope that the Machine Guns were there asking him, why did you fly us into work if you had no match for us? I don't know, we couldn't really pick up on what the nature of their conversation was. But as they're talking, we had Carmelo Hayes walk in. He interrupted. He wanted to know, what do I need to do to get a shot at the United States Championship? Miz interjected. He apologized. I apologize for my partner. And Carmelo's like, no, don't apologize for me. And Miz is like, no, Mr. Aldis, I'm very sorry about this. Now, Chris Sabin took offense because Miz made a comment about how I know you weren't doing anything. Obviously, that he was having a conversation with the Machine Guns. So Sabin said that, you know what? He also brought up that Miz has been manipulating
Moose has a chance to shut that down here.
$100 super chat. We got a guy, BC King, coming in here. He's coming in hot on this Friday Night Jokes and trying to make you laugh inside. JD, I've been rocking with you for around 2 years now. You showed up in my autoplay and made me a fan. Gotta give you this, especially for entertaining and being a genuine dude. Need more podcasts like you, the best of the best. That's, you know what?
And of course, if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for you.
Absolutely, BC King. Thank you, brother. Means a lot to me. I appreciate it. Thank you, and thank everybody for being here on this Friday night. If you guys missed, I have to say this. I felt really, really on point today. I woke up, and there was like a 3-hour window, man, where I was seeing clearly. I just sat here, I typed up a couple of bullet points, and I went in and I recorded an hour today on the TNA TV rights deal, where supposedly WWE is pushing for TNA to land on Wednesday night to go head-to-head with AEW Dynamite. If you missed today's video, normally I don't really say this in regards to the regular uploads, but if you missed today's video, which is almost an hour, it may be the best video or one of the best videos that we put out all year. Go and check it out. There are obviously people that are upset with me. There are sickos that don't really grasp because they share one singular brain cell between all fucking 500,000 of them that are still remaining who watch the fucking show weekly. This show is actually getting just as bad as Dynamite, which is fucking scary. If you missed that, go and check it out. I would really appreciate it. It is very well worth your time. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight during Smackdown, I came up with a list of 20 things that are probably more entertaining than this lifeless, soulless, absolutely bankrupt of a creative Smackdown that we got and have been getting for the majority of 2025. I, today, give to you 20 things that are more exciting than Friday Night Smackdown. Number 1, reading the terms and conditions on Peacock. Number 2, watching John Cena train for a match that he doesn't show up to. Number 3, counting how many times Joe Tessitore says, "Oh my!" Number 4, waiting for Roman Reigns to appear in a storyline he's champion of.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Number 5, trying to understand what the Grayson Waller effect really is. Number 6, watching a 24/7 live stream of a Printer Jam. Number 7, Michael Cole overselling roll-up finish like it was Brock Hogan, WrestleMania 18. Number 8, Liv Morgan's injury storylines written by ChatGPT circa 2021. Number 9, replaying WWE 2K14 Universe mode, because that's the last time the game was actually fucking decent, and realizing that it actually has better long-term booking than the real life WWE 2025. Number 10, watching Jake Cargill promos on mute, because even that has tension. The Miz hosting anything for the 400th time at number 11. Number 12, finding continuity in the Bray Wyatt lore. Rest in peace to Wyndham. Number 13, getting DQ'd in a WWE video game for too much offense. Number 14, Dolph Ziggler's 37th WWE return. Still better than the actual main event that we got tonight with the Bloodline. Number 15, a 2-hour video of Vince McMahon looking like a corpse, blinking as they ask him about his sexual allegations. Number 16, Seth Rollins laughing and cackling for 3 minutes straight. Number 17, and Omos squash match. At least it would have been short. Number 18, waiting on CM Punk's 9th final run. Number 19, watching your Uber Eats driver take the long way in traffic. And number 20, reminiscing about that one time that WWE tried to rename the War Raiders twice. All of these things would have been much more exciting than Friday Night Smackdown. Folks, this show sucks. I'm sorry. I'm actually just, bro, listen, I love pro wrestling. You know, there's this nasty narrative. JD, he hates pro wrestling, JD. No, I hate terrible television. I hate terrible television. I don't have anything against any company. I don't want a company to go out of business. I am just downright bored. I'm bored. I don't know what else to say, man. I don't know what else to say. Yeah, we can joke that Triple H is in Greece. Fine. Whatever the case may be. I've also seen some people making fun of his physique in these so-called photos that I've seen. Bro, the man is 56 years old, and he's a retired pro wrestler now, part of the front office for WWE. I don't know what you expect him to look like at 56 years old. What are you going to look like when you're 56 years old? Triple H is still going to look better than you when you're 56 years old. Shut the fuck up. Most of these people saying this are fat, faceless, virgin slobs who watch fucking some unknown Japanese wrestler from circa 1993, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and they want to school me on what real pro wrestling is. Shut the fuck up. It's always the fucking faceless geeks who's got something to say. Let me see who you're with at 56 years old, and what you look like at 56 years old. With the pacemaker, yes! With a pacemaker. I just find it funny that he's on vacation and he leaves Bruce Pritchard to run the fucking show. Let me tell you something, man. This show tonight, it was... And again, I said this about Monday. The in-ring action isn't bad. It's not. If you're out there saying that the in-ring product for WWE is bad, you're genuinely not watching the show. I thought Monday was a very good night for in-ring action. Roxanne and Io killed it. Tonight we had Melo Don't Miz and Fraxium. It's a great match. DIY and the Street Profits. Great match. The tag team division fucking held this show. Without the tag team division, this show is... It's fucking bad. The tag team division not on this show, man. Forget about it. I don't even know where the fuck we are. This show desperately needs something. I don't know what that something is. A trade, which we got tonight apparently. A draft. The whole fucking thing needs to be blown up. WWE needs a story, and I mean legitimately a captivating story that is going to take you week to week and give you a reason to watch. There is nothing on this show. There are no characters on this show that I'm going to go out of my way to see and care about on a week-to-week basis, especially if there is no story. Brock Lesnar supposedly is going to be on these shows in the month of September, leading into what now is rumored to be Over the Limit, WWE's next PLE in September, which will go head-to-head with AEW All Out. It's amazing how WWE is setting up Brock Lesnar's return to national television on their Smackdown show, and it looks like, for the first time in a while, with his announcement, the show will have something to look forward to. I genuinely wonder if that's done by design. The show needs a story. The show needs something that's going to be the centerpiece of this 2 hours. We thought going back to 2 hours was going to fix the problem, or at least alleviate some of the problem. The show got worse, eliminating that 1 hour. I can only imagine what it would feel. Okay, Brian, craziest touchdown ever.
Tennessee Titans, Music City Miracle.
Tyson snags it, starts running like he's double parked. What does a play like that do? What? It needs a major story. I mean, like, Academy Award-winning fucking episodic story, bro. I don't know what the fuck that is or where it comes from and who's involved, but we need something. These stories, whatever the fuck you want to call them, angles, stories, they ain't doing anything for me, man. They ain't doing anything for me. Sami Zayn apparently is now a Friday Night SmackDown superstar after showing up last week in Montreal, beating Solo Sikoa, wrestling on Monday in a match against Rusev, to have the Bloodline or the MFTs show up and attack him, and then he shows up here to confront Solo Sikoa, wanting the United States Championship. Meanwhile, all we heard for months is that Sami Zayn wants to be a world champion. I have my theories on why Sami Zayn was moved over to Friday Night Smackdown permanently. That was the big story tonight. That was the big deal tonight. Sami Zayn is now an official member of the Friday Night Smackdown roster. Drew McIntyre. He addressed his brutal attack on Cody Rhodes, who was not on the show tonight. McIntyre addressed his Claymore kick on Cody Rhodes that sent him through the announce table last week. McIntyre's great. McIntyre's a great in-ring performer. He's a great character. He's a great heel. He's a great promo. He's got it all. Why do I feel so terribly bored about a Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes feud? Well, it's tough to get excited when one half of the fucking feud is not on television. Secondly, nobody expects Cody Rhodes to lose the WWE Championship after he just beat John Cena 2 weeks ago at SummerSlam. Gee. Is anybody excited about a match that they know the outcome to? And outside that, there was legitimately nothing else to get excited about on this Friday night. I could end the review right there. We'll try our best to go over this. I am not excited. I am not entertained. I hate this show. I'm glad you guys are here, though. It makes it a lot easier on me when you guys are here, man. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206. I've been trying to spend less time and post less on social media. Just kind of tired of it, man. I feel like my energy is drained, and I feel like that is adding to that feeling. I got grown men crying on social media today because I block them. Bro, I don't give a fuck how you project your feelings, man. I don't want you on my timeline. I loathe toxic positivity. I hate when people spread misinformation and misconceptions about me. Watch the fucking content or shut the fuck up. That's what I have to say. All of these people do nothing but complain, and none of them watch the content. If they watch the content, they would understand where I'm coming from. Just like today's video. Go and check it out. It's a banger. And the real reason why TNA is in bed with WWE, and the real reason why WWE is counter-programming AEW. They don't give a fuck about AEW. That's on the homepage. Go and check that out. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. Make sure you go and hit that thumbs up as well. We got 1,700 people in here on a Friday night. 431 likes. That's unacceptable, bro. Tonight, the goal should be 750. So make sure you guys go and do that for me. I would really appreciate that. 750 is the goal. That is your homework. Hit that thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below as well. Let me know what you thought of Friday Night Smackdown. Tonight we're sponsored by Blue Chew. BlueChew.com. Code JD at checkout. All you guys have to do is pay the $5 shipping and handling. We love our friends over at Blue Chew. Man, what's going on with those Mets, huh? Are the Mets even going to make the playoffs, bro? I don't know. Super chats are open. Get them on in. Being that I have to be here, I would really appreciate your support via the super chat. It'll make my night worthwhile because I just wasted 2 hours watching Smackdown. Solo Sikoa. Solo and the MFT. Open Smackdown. My family trash is what we call them here on this show. My family trash. Absolutely. Solo's in the ring. He said the MFTs were in the building to remind everyone that he and his group run SmackDown. Please don't remind me. I don't think anybody likes to hear that. Last week, Sami Zayn came out and tried to show up on SmackDown, and that forced Solo and the My Family Trash to show up on Raw, and he put in his words, stomp his ass out. Solo declared that Sami Zayn was stomped out alongside Jimmy Uso and Jacob Fatu. He once again challenged anyone to come out from the back to face him, and then Sami Zayn's music hits the PA system. He came out, he's got a microphone, gets in the ring, and he says that he was just out here to talk to Solo. He asked Solo if he could just talk with him. The U.S. champion is in the ring with his MFTs, told them to back off. Let's hear what this guy has to say. So Sami Zayn said this past Monday, if he had beaten Rusev, there was a possibility he could have been fighting for the world title at Clash in Paris. No, it doesn't work that way, but please, continue. And now he wasn't going to Clash in Paris, and Solo stopped him from getting what he wants. He noted how he felt furious. But after some long thoughts, Sami Zayn noted that he was finally liberated. Zayn has been so focused on chasing the world title that he hadn't had time to focus on other things in WWE. And for that, he wanted to actually thank Solo. Zayn says that there was one title he hadn't held in WWE aside from the world title, and that was the United States Championship. Solo Sikoa taunted Zayn and said he would never win the United States Championship, and then started yelling at him to get off of his show, get out of his ring, and he never wanted to see him again. In actuality, it turned out Zayn was now an official member of the Friday Night SmackDown roster. Why? No fucking clue. Absolutely no clue. No reason was given. We'll get back to that in a second. Solo took something away from Zayn, and now Zayn wants to take the United States title away from Solo. Solo tried to hit Sami Zayn. The MFT stepped in, delivered the numbers game like the Death Riders. That's what it usually is every single fucking week. Jimmy Uso ran down for the save. The MFT still had the advantage. And then Jacob Fatu comes out to make the save. And the MFTs were sent retreating because Jacob Fatu evened the odds. Tolo Tonga saw himself sent out to the outside by a triple super kick to end the segment. Zayn, Uso, and Fatu all delivered a triple super kick. Nick Aldis stepped in and came out through Gorilla and made it official that our main event would be Sami Zayn, Jacob Fatu, and Jimmy Uso against any 3 members of the MFTs in a 6-man tag team match. So, I have to ask chat, why wasn't there a reason why Sami Zayn was moved over to Friday Night SmackDown? Is WWE just void of any continuity or logic nowadays? I mean, who's booking this show? Is Tony Khan booking this show too? Why was Sami Zayn moved over to SmackDown? The only thing I could possibly think of is these two things. Number one, it was a low-key, under-the-rug trade that they're not going to make apparent. LA Knight showed up on Monday Night Raw with absolutely no fucking reasoning behind it. Is this a soft trade for LA Knight going to Raw? SmackDown needed something, so they just traded one babyface for the other. Quite possibly. I would love something explained to me. Like, I don't have to come up with these conclusions myself. I'm not the one writing the show. I'm not booking the fucking show. That's their job. You tell me. Why do I have to sit on here and sit in front of you guys and give you the fucking reason, possibly, as to why Sami Zayn's moved over to Friday Night SmackDown? Lazy. Lazy. The other thing is, it is only August. Sami Zayn is not factoring into a world title just yet. We have LA Knight.
American beers, American careers. At Anheuser-Busch, we are not just brewing beer.
Just yet. There's a lot that stands in front of Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. Sami Zayn's time is not yet. If he remained on Raw, you risk the chance of him getting cold and not feeling like that world champion that you've alluded to over the last several weeks. What would he be doing on Monday Night Raw that he hasn't already done? So the decision was made for him to move over to Friday Night SmackDown and have some fresh feuds with himself. Now, clearly this is not a fresh feud. We're just fucking sucking him back into this bloodline vortex, which is absolutely just as bad as the Death Riders on AEW Dynamite. Give him some new opponents to work with, some new baby faces to team with and align with, and go after a championship that he hasn't won. Moving Sami Zayn over to Friday Night SmackDown doesn't mean he cannot still win the Royal Rumble and challenge Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. He could still very well do that as a member of the SmackDown roster. I'm looking at this as only a temporary move. I still think that Sami is a frontrunner to win the Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia. Just looking at the way WWE Creative has been absolutely as simple could be, I genuinely feel that that right now is at the top of their things to do going into 2026. You might not like it, but it's certainly a reality on WWE television the closer we get to the Royal Rumble. So those are the two reasons why I think they moved Sami Zayn over to Friday Night SmackDown. I just wish that there was a fucking explanation as to why he was moved. Hey, LA Knight was traded and we got Sami Zayn for the trade. That's it. That's all you had to say. You could even had Joe Tessitore say it. That was it. As long as there was an explanation. Solo Sikoa and the United States Championship, it ain't working, bro. The more you pin him, the less value that championship means and has. And Solo is just an absolutely fucking paper, just transitional champion, man. His character work has gotten better. I don't want to take anything away from him. But man, the way he's booked and the fucking fact that this bloodline vortex is never ending, and the fact that these people think that a bloodline faction leading this show in 2025 is the best course of action is absolutely irresponsible creative. It is bizarre how they feel like this is working. What are we doing here? The bloodline is dead. I don't give a fuck who you drum up and add to the group. It's dead. Nobody cares about these characters. Nobody. Jacob Fatu is suffering. Jimmy Uso is suffering. And now you suck Sami Zayn back into this fucking bloodline vortex. And it's not going to hit like they think it's going to hit. The bloodline died when Roman Reigns lost his title to Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 40. There was a sliver of a bloodline left when Roman battled Solo Sikoa on January 6th. It's over. Get these guys away from the family and have the guys in the MFTs do something else. I cannot stand this anymore. During this segment, there was a "We want Cross, we want Cross" chant from Boston. Now, I don't know if this is a reputable source, but I seen someone on social media today tweet out that Karrion Kross is the #1 selling t-shirt on WWEshop.com, and likely due to the fact that it was reduced by 50% off. Karrion Kross's merchandise is still on WWE Shop, while he just also opened up a pro wrestling tee shop to sell new merch over there. I don't know if you guys watched the Karrion Kross interview with Ariel Helwani a couple days ago. Kross alluded to the fact that he was offered a contract with only 24 hours to decide on what he wanted to do, and then he documented that WWE would rescind the offer after 24 hours. In the same breath, he also mentioned that WWE offered him a contract and did not offer Scarlett a contract. Ariel Helwani then asked, or were they going to get to her after they brought you back on board? And Kross's reaction and answer was, I don't know. That's not the way we did things before the first time around, and I would expect that we do the same thing this time around, just as a courtesy. Why did we need to do things separately? Chants of "We want Kross, we want Kross." There were no chants of "We want Scarlett, we want Scarlett." The answer lies within as to why Kross is now back in WWE. WWE wanted Kross and not Scarlett. They risked losing Scarlett to sign Kross by not offering her a contract when they offered Kross a contract. That's why Karrion Kross is not with the WWE right now. There's still a chance that they could be brought back. I don't know where I sit on this. I went from being worked to not worked, worked, not worked. I don't know what the fuck's going on. The latest report is that they're charging absolutely outlandish prices for appearance on the indies. I don't really understand why anybody has a problem with what they're charging. You want them to be successful, and you want them to go out there and have a successful after WWE run. Why is anybody complaining about the prices that they're charging for appearances? They got to go out there and make their money. They're only charging what they feel they are worth after the momentum that they have following the documentary. Fan weather fans. That's all the community is. The community are nothing more than a bunch of fakes. From creators reacting to fucking people pushing hashtags and movements. It's all fake. These are the same people that wanted, "We want Kross, we want Kross, we want Kross on television." Now you're complaining about the fact that he's charging too much for appearances? I don't really understand why anybody's complaining. It's fucking fake. Everything about this community is fake. I'm glad he's charging what he's charging. Part of me wants to say he's charging what he's charging because he doesn't really want to go work the indies and he's hoping WWE brings him back. Or he's charging what he's charging because he's not really allowed to work, on the indies because he's still with the WWE at some time. Within the last 48 hours since the interview. Maybe he's still with the WWE. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. How much is too much? If you got the money, spend it. He will bring an audience. He knows it, she knows it, and it's probably a very good investment. I know if I had the money and I was an independent promotion and I had money to spend like that, I'd already be on the phone with him, seeing what he's charging and what dates he's available to come on in. Byron Saxton. He was standing next to Chelsea Green. She was with her secret Purvis. Chelsea was asked, in her words, how we got here. I don't know. How did we get here? Chelsea claimed she could have been severely injured after getting a fistful of cake last week, as Piper Niven and Alpha 5 promised to confiscate Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss of their women's tag team titles. Yeah, that's just not gonna happen. That is not gonna happen. Alexa Bliss with Charlotte versus Piper Niven with Chelsea Green and Alba Fire. Riveting action here, folks. Downright riveting. Can't miss. Pick it up after the commercial break. Chelsea Green is on the outside. She's screaming her lungs off. Bliss, she avoided a Piper Niven cannonball. She hit Niven with repeated running moonsaults. Those weren't enough to get the 3 count, though. Niven regained the offense, headbutt. This allowed her to hit Bliss with a corner cannonball. Bliss avoided some more offense by Piper Niven by dodging the Piper bomb. Bliss tried to go up top. Chelsea got on the apron to provide a distraction. Charlotte Flair stopped her from the outside. Alba Fire then gets on the apron. She got kicked in the face by Bliss. In the end, Alexa Bliss rolled up Piper Niven for the 1, 2, 3. Absolutely can't miss. Unbelievable action. After the match, Alexa and Charlotte found themselves on the wrong end of a 3-on-2 numbers game attack from Chelsea Green and the secret Purvis. Gee, I wonder who the next opponents for Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair are going to be. At least Alba Fire and Piper Niven can wrestle. Are we terribly entertained? No. But at least it's solid in-ring competition for the new champions. I just don't give a shit. And I'm sure neither do you. Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill were arguing backstage as Nick Aldis tried to bring some peace to whatever's going on here. Nia Jax showed up and was told by the WWE Women's Champion, Tiffany Stratton, to simply bring it if she wanted another shot at the...
This spring, experience everything you loved about Dave & Buster's and everything you will love about Dave & Buster's with new and exclusive
the WWE Women's Championship? Who exactly is booking this show, bro? Is everyone on vacation in Greece? Did the whole fucking writing team go to Greece with Triple H and Stephanie McMahon? Nobody wants to see that again. We've been there and done that, bro. Please, I am begging you, for the love of Christ, give me something brand new and something fresh on this show. Please. Please. Carmelo Hayes and The Miz. Mellow Don't Miz. Versus Fraxium. I don't really understand why we're still doing Carmelo Hayes and The Miz. This is how bankrupt the creative team is, chat. Carmelo Hayes sat around and did absolutely nothing while The Miz filmed 2 seasons of American Gladiators as the host of the show. They waited for Miz to get back so that they could do Mellow Don't Miz again. They had absolutely no vision, no direction for Carmelo Hayes' solo act. The creative downfall of this company in the last 2 years should be taught in college educational fucking classes across the United States. It's unbelievable. To be fair, this was not a bad match. Fraxium does not have bad matches. Even with The Miz in there and his god-awful offense, it still ended up being a very good match. WWE, you know, the Wyatt Six, if you're a fan of the Wyatt Six, man, God bless you. Another act that is dead on this show. You could not squeeze out an ounce of fuck from me that I could possibly care about the Wyatt Six. Joe Gacy, standing in the audience, looking all ominous with his fucking pig mask. Then we get Dexter Lumis on the other side, standing all ominously with his fucking Mercy the Buzzard mask. Who are they watching? Are they watching Melo Domiz? Or are they watching Fraxium? We'll pick it up after the commercial break. Fraxium used some high-flying double-team offense here. Big dives onto Melo Domiz. We go into the commercial break. Come back from the break. Hayes. He's with Axiom, and he's got a rest hold applied on Axiom. Super kick. Axiom then countered a power bomb with a Hurricane Rana and got a near fall. Carmelo finally hit the power bomb, and he could not put Axiom away. Hayes tried to get with Frazier, who avoided the attack. Axiom took advantage, hits a kick to the face of Carmelo. Frazier got the hot tag, and he just absolutely went ballistic with some offense and hits a moonsault on the Miz out to the floor. Frazier looked for a Phoenix Splash. Miz rolled out of the way as he hit Frazier with a big knee. Hayes tagged in, tried for a springboard attack, but Frazier met him at the top. Hit an inverted Spanish fly off the top. Hayes somehow kicked out after a cover, 2 count. Back on the top rope. Hayes tried to go back up top, but Axiom stunned him with a kick to the face. Hayes. He was in position for the Spanish Fly Phoenix Splash combo from Fraxium, which connected. Miz broke up the count by stepping on the back of Frazier and leaping into a DDT after the pinfall was broken up. That was a great spot. Now they're on the top rope. Frazier hit Hayes with a jumping kick, and he looked for a jumping Spanish Fly with Axiom again. Miz stopped Axiom with a DDT on the apron. Carmelo's now up top. He countered Frazier with an amazing top rope cutter. Hayes went back up top again, and he went for nothing but net, his big flying leg drop. Miz tagged himself in and got the skull-crushing finale 1, 2, 3 on Nathan Frazier. This was a great camera shot where they just panned it out. You saw in one frame Miz delivering skull-crushing finale to Frazier while Melo was just sitting on the top rope wondering, what the fuck are you doing? And then they zoomed in on Carmelo's face. He was pissed. He was pissed. Carmelo was very much over being that he's a Boston native. He was very much over in this match. We got chants of, we want Melo, we want Melo. He got a hot tag, he got in there, he got a nice reaction. I think one thing is perfectly clear coming out of this match. We need more Carmelo Hayes on Friday Night SmackDown. I don't give a fucking which way we get Carmelo Hayes. We just need more Carmelo Hayes on the show. He almost feels like a newbie on the show because they don't use him. The only call to fame that he's got on Friday night is the Best of 7 series with Andrade last year. That's it. Outside that, he's done nothing. He's basically waited for The Miz to get back after filming American Gladiators. He needs to be one of the future pieces of the company, a centerpiece on Friday Night SmackDown. If Braun Breaker is in the position that he's in, there's no reason why Carmelo Hayes is not at that same position on the opposite show. Absolutely no reason why they should not be. Now, Cross was in the company. Karrion Kross. He was working with the Final Testament against the Wyatts. The Wyatts were here during this match in the crowd overseeing the match. Now, I don't think that they're looking at Fraxium. I genuinely think that they're targeting The Miz. Because The Miz is doing something right now that isn't really nice. It's not that professional. He's a liar. He is manipulating Carmelo Hayes. Isn't that what they're about? Isn't that what the Wyatt Six are about? Exposing people that act like The Miz is acting right now? I genuinely think that they're looking down on The Miz, and we're seeing Melo don't Miz right now because they're setting up them winning matches, which they had one tonight, they beat Fraxium. They got one next week in Dublin against the Motor City Machine Guns, which I'm assuming they'll win as well. They'll eventually get a tag team title shot, and I do think that is when we see who The Miz really is and what he's really doing here with Carmelo Hayes. It's all about The Miz. That has nothing to do with Carmelo Hayes. He is in this for himself. He's not in it to help Carmelo Hayes. He will eventually be exposed. And then we get Carmelo Hayes versus The Miz. Hopefully Melo is put over, and we can move on from this absolute soulless drivel that we're getting on Friday night with Melo don't Miz. This has been a thing for what? Going on a year now, right? What are we doing? Why does everybody need to go through The Miz when they get called up? Why do we need The Miz gatekeeping NXT talents when Carmelo Hayes doesn't need that type of gatekeeping? He's good enough to be on his own. Maybe if you let him, I don't know, fly on his own, if you pass him the ball and let him run with it, I guarantee you Carmelo Hayes is going to do things that are needed for this show. We don't know who he is. We don't know what he's about. The more you get him involved and get him on the show, people will gravitate towards him. The more people see him and understand him, the more people will react to him. You can't bring this guy up and make him a #1 draft pick, and then all of a sudden put him in a feud here, put him in a match here, and then keep him off TV 6 weeks, 7 weeks at a time, only to bring him back because The Miz is back. That's how you kill someone's star. And then who are they going to blame? Is WWE going to blame themselves for why Carmelo Hayes is not over, or why Carmelo Hayes isn't doing much of anything coming up from NXT? He's a bust. Oh, but the main roster, yeah, not everybody works out on the main roster, JD. Because he's not been given a fucking opportunity. You need to give him the ball and let him sink or swim. You can't keep him off television and then bring him back and then find out he's not over. It's your fault. But WWE will blame Carmelo. This was a very good match. I think the Wyatt Six are looking at what The Miz is doing, and they're set to expose this when the time is right. Tiffany Stratton. She was approached by Kiana James to offer her services of being a client of hers, which includes benefits such as a custom pink world championship, something we don't need. Stratton refused James' services and walked off. Now, there was a subtle tease that Julia could be coming for the women's championship. I mean, that's funny. Isn't she a champion herself? I'd love to know where the fuck she is. Where is the United States Championship? Where is Julia? Why did we create this title for it to sit dormant and lay dormant with no television time at all? What exactly are we doing with the United States Championship? Didn't you move this woman over to Friday Night Smackdown? Ladies and gentlemen, we brought Julia up from NXT, put her on the same brand as Stephanie Vicaire and Roxanne Perez, teamed her with Roxanne Perez, ended that before it even got started, moved her over to Friday Night Smackdown. She's had...
What's up, everyone? Tyrese Hellburn here with
segment on Friday night. 2 weeks in a row. Last week and the week before that. She wasn't even on the show tonight. What exactly are we doing here? Why did we create secondary titles for them to then not be on television, to be in feuds, and to be defended? How do you look at this and then actively defend what's going on here? Is it right for people like me and everybody else who complains about how fucking awful this show is to come under scrutiny and fire for the opinions that we give on this show when WWE is serving you fucking absolute dog shit on a platter and you people fucking slurp it up like it's the best thing ever? What are we doing? Michin showed up and stated that she had Julia next. Wow, that's so creative, WWE. Wasn't Michin one of the first people that feuded for the United States title against Chelsea Green? How many fucking times did we have to sit through that garbage? 3 or 4 times? And now she's back in the U.S. title picture? Is there anyone else? Michin is dead. Nobody gives a fuck about Michin. She gets the same kind of reactions as Zelina Vega. Nobody cares. I promise you, nobody cares. Drew McIntyre. He addresses his attack on Cody Rhodes last week, which I will admit was fucking great. I thought that attack on Cody was great. I said last week I thought it was a way to write him off television because he's going to go film Street Fighter. He's playing Guile in the movie. We don't know if that's the case or not, but Cody wasn't on the show tonight. He's in the ring. He asked for this clip again to be played from last week. He smiled. McIntyre asked us to listen closely as he said that he apparently did not attack Cody Rhodes. So who exactly did that? He then asked Joe Tessitore if there were any medical updates on Cody. No? He ranted about how that management was hiding Cody Rhodes' medical condition. McIntyre said that he wasn't mad at Cody. That he instead felt sorry for Cody because of how much he put the weight of the fans and the WWE management on his shoulders. McIntyre noted that he was once in Rhodes' position, but he moved on afterwards. He noted that Rhodes was nothing without his story, as he boasted that McIntyre, again, did not attack Cody Rhodes. Instead, McIntyre was the one who was attacked instead. McIntyre walked us through what happened, and he put his own spin on the events that transpired last week. He noted that he defended himself, and that while Rhodes was good at pissing people off, McIntyre said he was good at taking people out. He then declared he was the real nightmare for Cody Rhodes. McIntyre's always great. He's always a great promo. I enjoy Drew McIntyre's work. I enjoy everything that Drew McIntyre is a part of. I just don't really get a sense of anything but, hey man, this is going to be a great match at Clash in Paris when Cody gets back to television. This is another heel. This must have come from Triple H while he was on Zoom on the super yacht, while he was sailing the Mediterranean Sea over in Greece. This is another heel in Drew McIntyre that said he's not the bad guy. He's just spinning it in a different way. All of Triple H's heels have the same story. Oh, I didn't do anything wrong. Oh, I'm not the bad guy. I'm the one who's right. It's the babyface who's the liar. In this case, it's not the same as Kevin Owens, because what Kevin Owens did, he tried to protect himself. And I genuinely believe, watching the show when Kevin Owens was feuding with Cody Rhodes, that Kevin Owens was right for the actions that he displayed. I don't really get that sense with Drew McIntyre. Like, we all know Drew McIntyre has an obsession of becoming the WWE champion again. But that got lost in translation when WWE ended his feud with CM Punk. And then he got moved over to Friday Night Smackdown to feud with LA Knight and Damian Priest going into WrestleMania. And then Damian Priest again going into May. And then team with fucking Logan Paul against Jelly Roll at SummerSlam. Somewhere along the way since October, it got lost in translation. Now we're supposed to pick up the pieces and pretend like Drew McIntyre is right and he's not the bad guy. He's the good guy. He was the one who was attacked. Bro, you had 8 months to tell this story, and now you're just telling this story now because you're going into a Clash in Paris pay-per-view against Cody Rhodes, and you need a WWE Championship match for that show. It's the only reason why any of this is happening. The dialogue sucks. The reason why we're getting to where we're going sucks. How could you get invested in this when you already know the outcome of what's happening in Paris? Does anybody expect Cody Rhodes to lose his championship? To Drew McIntyre? Drew McIntyre's not winning the WWE title. He's not. Not this year, anyway. I'm tired of watching matches and simply saying, hey man, that was a great match. On to the next. We're going to get that next weekend for 5+ hours with AEW Forbidden Door. That's a great match. Who gives a fuck? What is this going to mean to me when I wake up the next morning? There's no story, there's no reason to care, but it's a great match. They went 30 minutes, I watched a 30-minute great pro wrestling match. What else is there besides that I'm going to talk about? Where is it going? What is it leading to? What's the consequences for winning and losing? There's nothing there. What happened coming into it? What's happening coming out of it? Nothing. Nothing. Where is Randy Orton? Does anybody know where Randy Orton is? Is he on one of those? Is he on the super yacht with Stephanie McMahon and Triple H sailing the Mediterranean Sea over in Greece? Is he with them too? Drew is always a great promo. Framing himself in a sympathetic way and claiming that he's right and Cody's wrong, it is not very creative, especially with the modern-day heel that Triple H presents on WWE TV. It's basically been done with all of his heels. I just wish we got something different. DIY. Tag team action here against the Street Profits. Again, the tag team division basically saved this show on Friday night. This was decent for what it was. They went 10 minutes. And honestly, I don't know where we're going with the tag team division. It's something that, after WrestleMania, seems a little bit directionless with everybody else not named the Wyatts. Profits set up a double-team blockbuster after a commercial break. We come back from the commercial break. Candice LeRae takes B-Fab and rammed her into the ringside steps. Ciampa took over and tagged in Gargano. DIY then delivered Fairy Tale Ending. Dawkins broke up the cover off the Fairy Tale Ending. Ford is in, Montez Ford. He rammed Gargano into Ciampa. Ford dove onto Ciampa. Ciampa, obviously a Boston native, and he's wrestling in the TD Garden for the first time. So it was a nice moment for him. Ford dove onto Ciampa. Gargano went for a dive. Ford hit him. LeRae then head scissored Ford off the ring apron onto Dawkins at ringside. Gargano shoved Ford into the ring, landed a DDT, which looked great. Montez sold the shit out of that DDT. He goes for cover, does Gargano, gets a near fall. B-Fab then attacked Candice LeRae at ringside. Ford avoided a charging Ciampa, delivered a big knee strike. Dawkins and then Ford finished Ciampa off after a Ford frog splash. 1, 2, 3. And the Street Profits beat DIY. How soon before we get Candice LeRae and B-Fab in mixed tag team action? That's the next step here. It's going to be the Street Profits and B-Fab versus Candice LeRae and DIY on a future episode of SmackDown. Good tag team match. Again, you got 4 guys in there with 2 teams who know how to fucking wrestle. Tag team division is great. It's legitimately the backbone of Friday Night SmackDown because nothing else is happening on this show. Fun match. I don't know where we go from here outside of a mixed tag team match, being that B-Fab and Candice LeRae got involved. Backstage, Nick Aldis is with the Motor City Machine Guns. They wanted a shot at the tag team titles. Carmelo Hayes is there and he interrupts, wanting to talk to Nick Aldis. He wants a shot at the United States Championship when The Miz once again tries to intervene and speak on Melo's behalf. Chris Sabin of the Motor City Machine Guns then taunted Hayes and said, Melo, you're going to let this guy talk for you? I thought you were him. Or is it, are you his? And he points to The Miz. This led...
Peacemaker, can you tell us a little about your skills?
I have a variety of helmets. Each one has a different power.
Activate Sonic Boom!
Hopefully we get a great crowd next week, and hopefully we get some decent tag team action. It looks like the team of Melo Don't Miz is going to be the next #1 contenders for the tag team championship. That's what it certainly feels like to me. R-Truth. R-Truth was asked by Byron Saxton about his recent attitude adjustment, meaning John Cena turning from heel to babyface, to which he seemed so happy and overjoyed about, was R-Truth. Before he could answer any further, Aleister Black confronted R-Truth. He wanted to know which truth he was getting. As Truth got serious, stepped up face to face to Aleister Black, and then he took his cap off, did Truth, and then said something along the lines of, what did you say? There he is, Mr. Killings. Black told R-Truth, that's who I want to see. Apparently, Truth said he'll see him next week. So we're getting a one-on-one match with Aleister Black and R-Truth next week in Dublin, Ireland. Backstage, Sami Zayn wondered if Jacob Fatu was going to be cool with them teaming up in the main event. He thanked Jimmy Uso for being out there and being his oos. And then he thanked Jacob Fatu for also coming to defend him as well. Fatu told Zayn, I didn't do it for you. Stay out of my way. Yar mean. I don't know, man. I really don't know. Chat, do we really want to go over this tag team match? I mean, when you end the show with another MFT main event, bro, and the United States champion is losing clean in the main event, I don't know how anybody could look at this as anything but fucking absolute boredom. I am so over the MFTs. So over it. Pick it up towards the end. We'll at least give you the ending. Fatu went up top. Solo stopped him, and he goes up top for the mighty moonsault. Tonga Loa got knees up. Solo then tagged in, hit a diving splash on Jacob Fatu. Got a 2 count. Fatu and Solo traded super kicks until both are doubled down with a clothesline. Zayn got in the match with a tag, Blue Thunder Bomb to Solo. Chef Cobb, Mateo, broke up the count. Ate a super kick from Uso. Fatu super kicked Tongaloa before he sent Tolo Tonga over the announce table with a suicide dive to the outside. In the ring, Solo went for the Samoan Spike on Sami Zayn. Exploder suplex by Sami. Haluva kick by Sami. 1, 2, 3. And that was the end of this SmackDown main event, with the United States Champion once again losing to Sami Zayn. SmackDown ended. Fatu showed respect to Sami Zayn as everybody embraced to close the show. Fantastic, man. Absolutely fantastic. This show is utter fucking boredom. If you are suffering from insomnia, I'm no medical professional, but put on SmackDown and I guarantee you'll be out like a baby. This show is fucking boring. Boring! Thank you guys for joining me on this SmackDown post. Man, I'm gonna get out of here in record time, man. Record time. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. Make sure you guys get those super chats in. It's the best way to support the show. If you guys want to help me out, obviously, streaming tonight's SmackDown post, I would appreciate anything you got coming my way, man. Thank you guys very much. Tonight we're sponsored by Blue Chew, official sponsor for tonight's SmackDown stream. Man, oh man, I tell you, man, you don't want to be a SmackDown in the bedroom. I'll tell you that right now. You don't.
Alright, I'm going to end the video. Until next time, thank you for watching. Thank you for all the support. I made this video long enough, so I'm going to end it. Make sure you guys hit that like button, leave a comment. Please subscribe to my channel. Until next time, this is Jacob Cast 2024. I'll see y'all later.